Welcome, stampers, to the September 24th Stamp and Go. Tonight, we are going to be stamping and creating with Regal Flora, one of the new sets in the Holiday Mini. We meet here every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. If you can't make it at 7 p.m., you can click that button anytime for the next year. However, if you want that free card kit, you'll need to place your order within 7 days. So you'll need to get that order in by September the 30th. Let's get started. Oh, by the way, if you want to make sure that you get all the up-to-date information about classes or Stamp and Go or Stampin' Up! News, you'll want to sign up for my newsletter. The link to do that is below in the description section. You can just click on that link and sign up. It doesn't take but a second. All right, let's get started. All right, this is the set that we're using, and it's kind of a sleeper. You don't find out how fun it is until you actually start stamping with it. These are the, these are the die cuts. So these are the ones that you can stamp and then cut out. There's a beautiful little die cut here that doesn't belong to a stamp. And this is one of the, I guess we'll call this a label. So it's kind of like a double label, the outside and then the inside. So you can be really creative with that. Alrighty, let us begin. This is the first card that we're going to make tonight. And we're using some of that absolutely stunning designer paper that comes in this suite. You won't want to miss that. It is absolutely stunning and gorgeous. We're actually using 2 pieces of that tonight in the catalogs, or in the catalogs. It is in the catalog, but we're gonna use it in our cards tonight. Okay, let us begin. Let me get this out of the way. We are going to start with a piece of Night of Navy, and then we're going to grab. We're not going to adhere this yet, but we're going to grab that designer paper, match it up with the edge of the navy. I'm going to use a white pencil, but you can just use a regular pencil. I just wanted to do this so that you could see it on camera a little bit better. So you see I've put that line down there, and that's going to help me figure out where to place my stamps. Now we're going to be using embossing powder. So I'm going to use my buddy over here along the side so that we get rid of any fingerprints or moisture that's on there. Now, normally, I'm using the white embossing powder this time, but normally, if I'm using the white powder, I also use the white craft ink because it makes it really nice and bright. But this is kind of the designer paper is kind of, let's call it watered down white. So I am actually using Versamark tonight with the white embossing powder, and that gives it a little less intense white. All right, let's start with our stamp. Gonna ink that up nicely with the Versamark. And then we're gonna start down here in this corner and we're gonna stamp. Now you have to be a little bit careful because you can't really see too well where you've stamped, but you can get an idea. You can see the ink there. Let me hold this up a little bit. There, you can see the ink a little bit. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to go up the side a little bit. Going to give it a little bit more right there. And then we're going to stamp up here. And then I'm going to make sure I've got one up here in this top part. Now let me hold that up a little bit. So we're not worried about this part here. We're just making sure that we get some nice flowers in this area. Actually, we could pop one right there. Let me see if I can get that edged in there. All right, let's pop that right there. Now, since we are using the powder, we're going to go ahead and put our thanks in there. So we're going to ink that up. And again, you'll be able to see pretty much where your ink is. So we're going to stamp a little, rock it slightly to make sure you get the top and the bottom of all those letters in there. Let's cover up the ink so I don't get that on anything. Now I'm going to take a catch card here. If you have one of the embossing kits, you have a nice tray and a brush that you can collect your excess powder in. All right, so we're going to, let me start this over here so it gets right. All right, we're gonna dump our powder on here, tap it off, and now you can really see where your ink is. And if you missed a little spot, you can tap on a little bit more powder. Nice, nice. Tapping that away to get rid of any excess. All right, I'm going to get rid of this powder back into the jar so we don't blow that all over the craft area here. All right. Get rid of that. And if you have tweezers, this is a nice time to grab those. And we're going to start in one area. You don't need to wiggle this back and forth. Doesn't really help it out much. And we're just going to follow. You can see how that's turning nice and bright and shiny. So that's what we're after. You want to make sure that you travel a little bit more slowly than when you do with your metallic powder, because the metallic powders, of course, have metal in them, and the metal picks up that heat really quickly. This white enamel takes just a little bit longer, not all that long. All right, you can see we're getting up here at the top. We're almost done. We want to make sure that we have everything is white and shiny. Okay, I think we are good. Shut off that heat gun. And I need to clean that stamp because we're going to use it in a minute for another card. All right, let's grab the white base here. Whoops, we're not quite ready for the white base. Let's put this on the navy here because we want to put our ribbon on before we put this onto the base. Isn't that back pretty too? It is just a really gorgeous set of designer paper. So we're going to layer this over here to the left side. Yes, we did cover up some of that prettiness, but that's okay. It's going to be gorgeous. All right, let's grab the bow here. Now this is already tied for you. So what we're going to do is grab a glue dot. Get our glue dots here. And we're going to put that dot where we want the bow knot to be. Knot, K-N-O-T, not N-O-T. All right, we're going to put that knot right in that glue dot. And then if you have tear and tape, this is a good time to use it. If you don't have tear and tape, then you probably want to use a glue dot. I'm trying to find the end of it. There we go. All right, we're going to take a piece of that over here on the back side at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to take the topper off of that, and we're going to make sure that this ribbon is coming right across. You don't want too much of the stamping, but just a tiny bit. And then we're going to layer that on the back. We've glued that down to the back. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So let's make sure that this ribbon is running right down there. Flip it to the back side. Awesome. Now, if you want to trim that up, you can, but you don't really need to because nobody's going to see that. Now we are ready for the card base. So I'm going to give that a little burnish there to make sure that it lays down flat. It's easier that way. And I'm going to use some glue to adhere this to the card front. Now we're going to give it just a tiny white border all the way around. Okay, so you can see we've got just, I guess, probably about a 1/16 of an inch of your border showing all the way around. Then we're going to use some of these stunning faceted iridescent dots. They are so pretty. We're going to use 3 of them on the flower. So we're going to pick 3 flowers that we can see that nice center. And we're going to pop this in the middle. I think I'm going to put the other one right here. This gives us a nice little triangle. And then we're going to take the small ones and we're going to add 2 of them up here at the top. All right. There we go. Let's get all of this out of our way. And your card is ready for sending. All right, isn't that pretty? I really like that a lot. All right, let's move this out of the way. And we are going to grab the next card, which looks like this. Again, we're using some of that absolutely beautiful designer paper. All right, got a bit of stamping on this one, so that's what we're going to start with first. We're going to use for the flowers. Now you need 2 of these for each of your cards. So we're going to use Berry Burst ink. And here's, let me find my stamped. We cleaned that from the last one. So we're going to ink that up. Ink, 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 tap, tap, tap. On these types of stamps where you have the gradation and the image, it's best if you tap it instead of squishing it down. That way you get a little bit of a better image. So I'm going to use my alternate method of stamping. And that is turning the stamp upside down. So you see the stamp and getting your die cut, and it's this way is the right side. So you want to flip that over to the back side. And then we're going to center that on the stamp and just press down. And then you get this pretty image. Then I lay that over to this side. Now, as I mentioned, you need 2 of those per card, but I already stamped one, so we can move on then to the leaves. This is, as I mentioned, Berry Burst. All that stuff is in that PDF that you can access below in the description section. So the next piece that we're going to stamp is the leaf, sort of a spray there. I'm going to use Garden Green. And gonna ink this up. Remember, tap, 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 tap. That's looking pretty good. This is the right side. We're gonna flip that to the back side, center that over our stamp, press down, and we have our stamped image. Now this, I'm gonna give this a little wash here, so because we're gonna use it again. We use all these stamps quite a bit today, so that's kind of fun. All right, we have one more stamped image here for the flowers and greenery. This is the kind of a leaf stem. Tap, tap, tap. Take a look. Yep, that's looking good. This is the right side. Flip it to the back side. And then we're going to hover over the stamp. Press down. And we need just one of these, okay, for this card. All right, let's close up the ink. And I don't think we need this again, but we'll just wash it anyway, just to make sure we don't grab it after a while by mistake. All right. Let us bring back our stamped images. And we are going to wink them. Now, if you don't like wink or you don't want to use it, that's fine. But when you do use the wink on here, it kind of brightens that color a little bit. And that's kind of nice. It kind of makes it sparkly as well as a little bit brighter than just using the regular ink. And so I'm going to use that on the leaves. Sometimes this wink is a little bit difficult to see on the camera there. And I've not figured out a nice way to get that to show up better. So you'll have to take my word for it if it doesn't show up there for you. All right, we have that all winked up. So let's grab our, we have our card base and it opens at the bottom down here. I think I'm going to raise this up a little bit and see if that helps keep this centered more. Okay. All right. So we have our card base, which opens down here at the bottom. We're not going to use that just yet. So we're going to lay that over to the side and grab the distressed tile embossed piece. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to use another piece of the designer paper. And we will give that a little shot of glue. And we're going to come all the way down to the bottom and the sides and just layer that right on there. Okay. Now, before we put on our stamped images, we're going to take care of the ribbon. Isn't that pretty? It's that blackberry and gold ribbon that's in the suite. Now, if you have tear and tape, this is a good time to pop that out. If you don't have tear and tape, you can use your glue dots. I'm going to put a little bit there. If you're using glue dots, just put a couple more glue dots on there. We're going to come over here to the side and see if we can get some tear and tape in the right place. Okay. Now, we're going to take it off of the front piece. And we're going to grab that ribbon and just layer it. It's about half and half on the white and the designer paper. Press that down, and then we can turn over here to the back side and take off the topping, and then just press that down. Doing the same thing on the other side, and press that down. And now we have our ribbon in place. Now we can pop it on our card base. So let's add a little bit of glue to the back side of the embossed piece. Layer that on your card front. So you have just a tiny, tiny bit of the white showing all the way around. Okay, nice. Now we're going to grab the two flower images and we're going to pop those on with a dimensional. So I'm going to put one on the back of each of these. And the reason I'm only using one is because we're going to be tucking stuff in a minute, and we'll see how that works. If you have just the one, you're less likely to run into something on the back side. So let's put one of the flower images right there. And we're going to use this one, and we're going to tuck that in right. Let's see. That gives us a little bit more room there. All right, now to put on the greenery, we're going to grab our glue dots, and we're going to use those to put the greenery on. Now, the one piece that's just leaves is going to go up here at the top. So I'm going to tuck that right in here and just press down. We're going to grab the other set of leaves. These are the ones that have it's kind of like a spray of greenery. And we're going to tuck those in right here. We have one more. Can't get my fingernails to work here. There we go. And we're going to slide that one right down here at the base. Okay. Awesome. All right. Now we have some gold embossed. Actually, they're not gold. It's the peach glimmer paper that's in the 24-26 in color glimmer paper pack. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, this peach looks really like gold. So it works really well with other things besides peach. All right, we're going to put the double sprig right here with the greenery spray. Let me grab another glue dot here. And we're going to put this one down here with this greenery spray. Just kind of tuck that right underneath there. And we have one more. And that, whoops, I'm back here. All right, that's going to go up here with just the leaves. Awesome. Now we're going to grab the, these are the iridescent flatback pearls. And we're going to use one up here at the top. And one over here at the side. And we're going to come down to the next set of flowers. We're going to put one there and one down here. Awesome. Okay, I think that's all we need there. We have one last thing to work on. And that is our verse. And we're going to use the Missing You with some black ink. Now, it doesn't matter which black ink you use because we're not coloring with it. And I'm going to try to hit this corner down here. There we go. Didn't get that on there too straight, but that's all right because we are going to trim this with scissors. So we're going to just make it as straight as you can. You don't have to get too crazy with it. And then we're going to cut this top part and then finish it off just like that. Perfect. All right, let's cover up the ink. Get that out of the way. And we are going to, I think let's use a glue dots to put this on. So we already have dimensions under the flowers. So we're going to put one glue dot on each end. If you need to squish it up a little bit, that's okay. All right, now bring this down and then we're going to center this right here across the front of your card, just like that. All righty. Your card is ready for sending. All right, we have one more card to do. And this one, I usually say the last one is your easiest, and it is pretty easy. We have a bit of stamping to do, which is it's a lot of fun, especially when you have a new set of stamps. You kind of like to use them a lot. So that's what we're going to do with this card. So let's lay this down. We're going to grab, it's just a plain piece of vanilla cardstock, and we're going to stamp the flowers in pumpkin pie. So let's grab that flower stamp, tap, 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 make sure you get it tapped well. Now we're going to put this kind of in the center and come down about an inch from the top. Nice. Ink it up again. And I kind of turned it upside down this time. So we're going to come in right here over towards the left a bit and stamp the flowers again right there. Okay, let's close up the pumpkin. And we're going to grab that leaf spray that we used before. This time we're using Old Olive. So let's ink this up, tap, tap, tap. We're going to come in here at the side. Great. Ink it up again. We're going to come down here at the bottom. We're going to ink it up one more time and come up here at the top towards the left. Okay. And it's okay if yours end up looking a little bit different than mine, that's perfectly okay. Now we are going to grab the, not that one, we're going to grab the dots. I just like it when they put in dots or background. It's so fun. We're going to use the crushed curry to ink that up. So we're going to ink, ink, ink. We're going to come up here at the top. And it's okay if it overlaps a little bit because it kind of blends in the background. And then we're going to come down here at the bottom and we will definitely be overlapping a little here, but you see it kind of blends in. We're going to ink up one more time and come over here to the side. Wonderful. I like that. Those dots just add so much to the character here. And again, not only because I like Wink Stella, because I do, and you know I use it a lot. If you watch my classes, you know I use Wink a bit. We're going to color on these flowers so that it brings out that color a little bit. And then we're also going to go over the leaves again, because this kind of brings out the brightness in that color. It gives them a little bit more pizzazz, and it's pretty. Okay. Now, we are going to use some sprigs. Now, these sprigs actually were not cut with the dies from this set. These come from another die set called Light the Year. And you'll notice that when I do cards, I do kind of mix them up a bit. It gives you a lot more opportunity to use the stuff that you have on hand. All right, we're going to add these with glue dots. One of them is going right here over that green set. Gonna bring another one in down here. I'm using glue dots for all of these, and that's gonna come over this greenery set, and one more, and that's going to go up here with this one. Nice. All right, let's bring in the card base, which is vanilla. It opens down here at the bottom. And we are going to put this on with dimensionals. So we're going to use probably 3 over here at this side and 3 down here at the bottom. And I'm going to use 1 in the middle to kind of keep that, because that's a big space there to kind of keep popped up. So let's take off the toppers here. We got everything. Yeah. All right. Make sure it's opening at the bottom, and then we're going to layer this right on top. That gives that a nice lift there. Okay, then we're going to bring in the verse, which is sending love your way. And we have this pretty little vanilla cut. I'm going to lay that on a silicone mat so you can see it. And we're using Mossy Meadow. That out of the way. All right, we're going to ink up. Looking good. And we're going to center that and rock it slightly. Awesome. Cover up the ink and bring in that piece of gold that's going to be our backing here. So we're going to put 2 glue dots on the gold and layer this over the top of it. Center it. Does not go out all the way to the sides, but it is centered top to bottom. Now we are going to flip that to the back side and put on 2 dimensionals. Take off the topper, and we don't need this anymore. All right, bring back our card, make sure that it's reading upright. We're going to center that right here in the middle. Nice. Okay. We have some iridescent flat back pearls. And again, we're going to use those in the middle of a couple of these flowers, 1 there at the top and then 2 down here at the bottom. Okay, nice. Now we have one last thing that we're going to do. And you can see we've used some really prettily colored rhinestones, which we do not have. So we're taking regular rhinestones and we're using the dark pumpkin pie blend. Now go around those. I'm using the nib end because that brush end, you can kind of mess that up pretty easily. So we don't want to do that. The nib end is a little bit more sturdy. And so we're going to go over these. I usually go over them twice because that first time you're laying down color and then you're brightening it up a little bit. All right. And because these are alcohol markers, it doesn't take but a moment to dry. All right. Let's put these on. One's going right here. One's going real close by. And then the other one is going down here in this corner. All right, so your card is now ready for sending. I hope that you really enjoyed this evening. It's a lot of fun and we got to do a lot of stamping this time. If you would like a free card kit, that means that you'll get enough supplies to make 2 of each of the cards that we created tonight. You can place an order for $35 using that host code in the description below. If you want to place a $50 order, you can get that kit, plus you'll get a pack of embellishments. If you enjoyed this evening, I hope that you will like it and share it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that. We do have live Zoom classes every Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. If you would like to find out about these, you can get on my email list, and that link is also below in the description section. So if you sign up for that, you'll get all the information about all of the classes, and you'll actually get to see the cards that we're creating. So thank you for joining us this evening, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks at the next one. Take care.